And if you don't set an expectation of what we're going to see and produce in that day, then who's going to do it? So it would be wise just to walk through your office and start visualizing.
Welcome to AMC. I'm Dr. Greg Miller. Have you ever implemented visualization in your practice? Today, Tom Owen is going to explain the importance of visualization and how you can use it. I thought his advice on consistency was very helpful. Let's get started.
All right, let's just jump right in and talk about a factor that I know can impact every chiropractic practice out there. Regardless of your background, regardless of the philosophies, the different techniques that are out there, for that matter, all the different models, a key to all of these, regardless, you're in the people business. All right, always remember that. It doesn't matter about your marketing, it doesn't matter about your insurance problems, it doesn't matter about your overhead, because as a chiropractor, you know you're an educated entrepreneur. You know, you're the bill payer, you're the boss. You have to be the jack of all trades, and you have to wear a lot of different hats. But it really boils down to, in a chiropractic office, you're still in the people business. And it comes down to that doctor-patient relationship and the individual patient experience. So if you're in a typical modeled practice, you've got all those hats, different hats to wear, and you may look at your schedule and you're going to see 20 in the morning and 40 in the afternoon. You really need to look at it as going, there's 20 different individuals and there's 40 different individuals in the afternoon, and they all have to get the same experience if you want that practice to sustain itself and to grow long term. It's not about the volume, it's about the individual. And how do you make sure on a daily basis? Because look, we're all human, and each and every day is unique. Some days we wake up and the birds are singing, right? Some days the bird poops on your windshield on the way to the office, right? Some days you're having staff issues. Some days you get a bill in the mail that you weren't expecting. There's all kinds of distractions out there. Lord, especially in today's society, you could wake up in a great mood and jump on social media, and by the time you get off of social media for 3 minutes, your mood is completely changed. There's all kinds of things to take the distraction away from the fact that when you're inside that practice, that's your world, and it's not about you. It's about how you serve and how you connect with each and every individual patient and the experience they have with their doctor. So now, unless you're wanting to, practice one of those niche practices where you're spending a lot of money on equipment, capital expenditure, and you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to market new patients, and you're constantly processing new patients over and over and over. Well, it really doesn't matter that much about the patient experience in those situations, because you're not going to retain that relationship. But if you're building a model that's self-sustaining, referral-based, stress-free model that's going to create a relationship over a period of time, maybe a lifetime with that patient, if that's the kind of practice you're looking for, then we need to talk about consistency. So if there's one word I want you to write down today, first and foremost, it's consistency. All right? Because as I said, each and every day is different in its own right. Like I said, the staff could be different. We have different challenges. We do have decisions to make, but the bottom line is you have to be consistent in applying that patient, and each and every one of them have the same experience, whether it's 9:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon when you're yawning after lunch, or it's the last patient of the day and you're ready to go home. Regardless, consistency is going to be the key factor. Now, I'm just going to go through a couple of different exercises that I know will impact the effectiveness of that day. Really, because you can have all the numbers that you want, but don't confuse motion with progress. Just because you're seeing a lot of different volume doesn't mean that we're being effective. There's an old saying that says, "Blessed are those that go in circles, for they shall be called wheels." So if we're not efficiently seeing those patients, we're not proficient in our quality of work with those patients, and we're not productive with those patients, then ultimately you're not going to be as profitable. So unless you're going to do a charity practice where you're just seeing as many people as you can in an erratic format, and you don't care about the bottom line at the end of the day, then do it whatever you want to. But if you're interested in building that self-sustaining, referral-based, stress-free practice, then consistency is the key. And I'm going to give you 2 components that you can take from this video and implement tomorrow and measure it. At the end of the day, measure, did today feel more effective? Was I more in tune? And it's something that doesn't cost you a dime. You can do it every day, and you can have that same feeling at the end of the day and know, wow, the day was a lot more effective and productive than it would have been without it. And that is called visualization. How many of you show up 5 to 10 minutes before you see your first patient? You expect the staff to open the office up and get everything ready, and you're going to hit the ground running with full synergy, and you're going to be ready to serve consistently for however many patients you're going to see. First and foremost, don't do that. You want to get in the habit of getting to your office 30 minutes more likely to an hour, and have time in an empty office to go through and set the expectation. You're the leader. No one else is coming. You're the educated entrepreneur. You're the one that wears all the different hats. You're the bill payer. You're everything, the jack of all trades. It all stops with you. And if you don't set an expectation of what we're going to see and produce in that day, then who's going to do it? So it would be wise just to walk through your office and start visualizing. If you don't have a vision, the word says, without vision, my people perish. Okay? Do you look at that practice as being your practice? What sets you apart from the person down the street? You set yourself apart from the person down the street. Not what people say, it's what you do that sets it apart. And this could be the one thing that the patient comes in and goes, man, there's just something different about coming to this office compared to all other chiropractic offices. And it could be as simple as you setting the experience, you setting the vision. So walk through your office. It takes 10 minutes. Walk through and speak out and set an expectation of what we're going to see today. I see people getting the healing and the care that they need. I see people talking about their condition. I see the people talking about their results with other patients. I see people paying. I see people interacting. I just see a functioning practice. I see people sitting in the reception room waiting to be seen. I see a smooth process. Speak out what you want to see, and you're going to find that starts following you. Now, on top of that, I'm going to give you, that's the volume. That's kind of like the Google picture of the day. Set an expectation for the day. Set an expectation for your practice. It's your practice, it's your career, and I can tell you, you've only got so many days in your career, all right? So there's learning years, there's earning years, and then there's yearning years. I can assure you, you only have so many earning years, and each and every day that you use loosely and inefficiently are days that you won't get back. So you think that this is a small factor, but I'm telling you, it will impact the production and the effectiveness of that practice. So get in the habit consistently applying a visualization factor to the Google Earth version of the day, of the practice. Set the expectation. Now, on top of that, how many of you stop and pause because you have a long, one patient that's really talkative that day, you're getting behind, you find yourself on 5, 10, 15 minutes behind, and now you're starting to rush yourself and you're just moving into the next patient and the next patient, and those people down the line, they deserve the best care as possible as well. They deserve the best you that you can provide, and it's not their fault that you're running behind. Or you could have a bad experience with a patient, right? Let's say you did a report of findings and the patient rejected, right? And didn't accept care. And that rejection could follow you and go into the next office visit that's waiting for you, right? Now you're carrying that into it. Stop and realize that each and every visit is important. And the sum of all those visits make up the production of the day. And that patient deserves your best. So how can you just ensure that each and every patient is different and they'll be treated as an individual? It's called the visualization process. Again, you walk through the office and set the pace for the day. Now start doing what's called the doorknob principle. The doorknob principle is every time you reach for a doorknob, whether it's going into the first visit, 5th visit, 15th visit, 74th visit, doesn't matter. You're going into, whether it's a consultation, an exam, a report of findings, a re-exam. If you turn a doorknob in your office, you need to stop. Take that extra 3 seconds and just, whether you close your eyes, you just reach and you just stop and pause and say, there is a lifetime chiropractic patient on the other side of this door that's going to stay, pay, and refer, and they're going to get the best care possible today. Now, you could say that under your breath in a matter of just 3 to 4 or 5 seconds. That patient's going to have a better experience than they would had you had been rejected in the visit before, and then you just carried that rejection into the office visit, and now all of a sudden 3, 4, or 5 gone by before you get back in the saddle. All right? So visualization, whether you're walking through at the beginning of the day, individually turning each and every doorknob, and when I'll give you one more, when you're just, your feet are just cut out from underneath you, you're having a bad day, something happened to you, you got a phone call, you got something in the mail, some kind of big distraction, take the time. I give you permission now, right? Take 15, 30 seconds and just find you a quiet spot and reset through visualization. Now these are small factors, and they're not how to do a proper consultation. They're not how to increase your closing ratios. It's not your collection ratios. It's not marketing, because let me tell you, new patients typically is not the answer to your problems. That's what the problem with this these niche practices are. They're coming and going. They're not long-term relationships, and when they're gone, they're not returning. Right? So that's not a long-term answer. It's short-term gain. I can assure you, when you're focused on the details of each and every patient, you're going to find a jump in your production. Test me. Try it out. Do nothing more than just do this for 3 days in a row. Do a visualization walkthrough in the beginning of the morning. Be there early. Set the tone. Then go through and do an expectation as you turn the doorknob. And then you can contact me directly if you want to and tell me, at the end of that day, was that day more productive and more effective than a day without it? Compare it, and you'll find just like the thousands before you, you can't argue with a principle. Opinions can be challenged. Schemes and strategies will fail, but principles will never fail you, and this is built on principle. With that, I love you, appreciate you. Keep on striving. God bless.
If this has been helpful, like and subscribe to be notified whenever new videos come out. As always, we're here to help. Text us any questions you have to 904-966-4996. AMC is your guide to becoming respected, effective, and valued in practice. See you next week.